was realizing that as important as finance is, we had really been rooted in a lot of practices that were somewhere between 30 and 100 years old, and tech can help. You know that you and I worked together at Coinbase. When I was at Coinbase, you were at Circle. We put together one of the most important stablecoin projects in the world. Well, Jeremy, I think there are a lot of ways of thinking about stablecoins. There's sort of a short-term, a medium-term, and a long-term way of thinking about how they can improve our sort of system. But what I think about it in the first instance is it's an issue of competitiveness. So when I talk about stablecoins, what I sort of say is the dollar has been the reserve currency for a long period of time, not because it's necessarily better or easier to use or anything. It's the most liquid currency because of a set of historical anomalies that happened sometime between the end of World War II and the mid-50s.
Right.
And the world we live in isn't that world anymore. So the dollar is still the reserve currency, but only because we're still running on that history. Yeah. The problem is the history is not likely to preserve our role as the reserve currency forever. And you see this in the fact that global central banks have been reducing their dollar holdings and diversifying away from the dollar every quarter going back now 4, 5, 6 years. This seems to be an inevitable trend. We're still the most important, but we're way less the most important than we used to be. Right. And in a world of competition, my view is that the dollar needs to transact more attractively than others, right? So if we're no more liquid than the renminbi or the euro or something at some point in the future, we could still be the currency of choice if the transactional mechanism for dollars is superior to the transactional mechanism of other kinds of things. And so I think it's that suite of issues that stablecoins and blockchain can ultimately help us with, is to preserve the role of the dollar in the system.
Collateralized stablecoin. That means tokenized assets whose value are expected to remain constant in some unit. So if it's a dollar stablecoin and you have 10 of it, you're expecting its value to remain stable at $10. These assets have a backing asset, in this case XRP. That means that there is something that is supposed to guarantee its value. Now, in some of those systems, you can actually redeem the stablecoin for the backing asset. In some, you can't. What's interesting about this proposal is that the stablecoins are perfectly liquid to XRP at face value on the ledger. So in other words, if you have a dollar in a dollar stablecoin designed on the system, what you have is a $1 claim on XRP enforceable by the ledger's payment mechanics. And the reason that that's important is with some other stablecoin designs, if the stablecoin isn't popular, it won't necessarily be liquid. If it's not listed on an exchange, if it can't easily be deposited and withdrawn, it won't be that useful. By the design of this system, the stablecoins can be offered through the on-ledger decentralized exchange, and they spend like XRP. So you don't need to find some way to make them liquid. You can just spend them right on the ledger. And of course, they can be pegged to anything that someone can provide a price feed on. Fiat currencies are probably what people typically think of, like dollars and euros or whatever. But they can also be pegged to things like stocks or precious metals or any other value source. As long as someone can provide a price feed for it, you can have a stablecoin pegged to that value. To redeem a stablecoin for XRP, we'll have to modify the IOU to XRP order book logic. Essentially, one synthetic offer will be injected into that order book that represents redemption against the collateral pool. That will redeem against the least collateralized positions first, eliminate them, and sort of cleaning out the junk. If there are reserve funds, it can even redeem against positions collateralized below 100%. But if there's no reserve, then you can't redeem against under collateralized positions. So, for example,
those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Recreating a virtual global gold standard would be a criminal act of monetary amnesia.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher, and guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family and spread it all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works, because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that everything is planned out. Now, I want to thank those who actually purchased the books, Crypto Teacher NWO book, and then also those who donated to the Cash App, Patreon. Much love. Keep it coming. And then also those who are purchased from the store. I have a lot more coming from the store this weekend, guys, so be patient with me. Now, guys, of course, we want to get into Bitcoin, XRP, altcoins, get into that first. Of course, right now we see altcoins making a recovery, so we know what? Bitcoin is going to make a recovery. Now, of course, I know some of you, because I said I was buying Aave, I know some of you bought Aave with me. Don't be stingy, guys. Hit that Cash App now. I know you have that Cash App. Go ahead and hit me. Now, the fact is that basically on my stock channel, of course, I give you the stocks that I'm looking at. Don't forget the Cash App, guys. Don't forget it. Don't be stingy, guys. Definitely. But you know I give this information free of charge, but if you feel it in your heart, don't be stingy, guys. Now, just like I said, guys, make sure you are staying focused on the indicators. Volume, XRP, and, of course, the other stable coins. Now, the fact is that basically we do have the futures coming up. So we know that, of course, we're going to get this little pump, and then, of course, we're going to pull back. We know this, guys. This happens every single month. But when we get into October and November, we have to stick with the fundamentals, because we know when things are bad, and we have to make sure we keep an eye on the VIX, and I'm going to go over that more on the stock channel. But when people feel like, okay, the stock market is a risk, what do? They run into safe havens, Bitcoin, gold, silver. So that should take an increase. But you have to stay focused on the indicators to make sure that's the road that we're headed. Now, guys, we're going to get into very, very important news. Brian Brooks, of course, we know Brian Brooks is attached to who? Steve Mnuchin, and goes back to what? One West Bank. I keep y'all in order. Make sure you go and watch those videos, so therefore you understand everything is connected, everything is planned. Now, Brian Brooks comes out and said federally chartered banks and thrift banks can now hold a percentage of course, your stable coins. Now, guys, what are they doing? What are they doing, guys? Now, if you go back and you listen to Brian Brooks, yeah, us and Goldman have been working on this USDC, this world global stable coin. Guys, I want y'all to think about something. Think real hard. Now, remember, there was an article that I went over way back, I think it was March, about the global stable coin. Now, when you actually look at why, and banks been holding these stable coins, guys. We know that JP Morgan, I've had Jamie Dimon, plenty of videos I showed them saying that they've been moving money anyway, digitally anyway. That's how they move billions of dollars already. But the fact is that if you go back to China, remember China is considering their digital currency as what? A commodity. So I take my dollar and I back it up with a virtual commodity. Not gold, not silver, but a virtual commodity. But what am I missing, guys? What am I missing? What did David Schwartz say? A synthetic stable coin that's used as collateral. I'm missing collateral, guys. I'm missing that. And that's what XRP is going to run this whole thing, guys. Because the fact is, yes, you may say you have 1,000. I say, look, I'm going to give you 1,000. You may say I have 1,000, but I don't have anything in my hand that's going to guarantee this transaction. What guarantees that transaction, guys? Yes, XRP, but they only need XRP for that split second. Boom, the transaction goes through, it's done. But I just want to make sure you understand XRP and stablecoins are attached. They're not battling each other, but you need XRP for that collateral, guys. Yeah, I can say I have money all day, but I do the transaction, I cancel it. You got what you needed, but I never got what I needed. XRP takes care of that. And if you hear IMF, you hear SWIFT, everybody say that's the issue. But we know that XRP fixes that. It is the collateral, guys. So make sure that, just like I stated, make sure you focus. Make sure you don't forget things, because that's what they expect for you to do. They don't expect for you to go back. And I have so many articles. Basically, you have Capco that handles trillions of dollars. State that XRP, of course, stablecoin, JP Morgan, stablecoin. That's what it is, a synthetic stablecoin that actually uses as collateral, but you only need it for those few seconds. Now, don't forget, everything is a plan, guys. Everything is a plan. And when you have a plan, that means that you have steps you have to go through. So remember, January 1st, as long as that bill passed, they'll be able to do digital wallets. They already will have the liquidity, because that's the only thing they're doing is that they want to create liquidity on the side of these digital wallets, digital currencies. So the first step is to get stable coins in first. And then I can bring in the utility coins, the Bitcoin, your Ethereum. Then I can bring that system in. But I have to bring in liquidity to start this foundation. Stable coins are the foundation, guys. Please remember that. Now, basically, we're just going to get over into crypto news, a few things. Basically, we have the CIA launches a house for R&D arm. We know, basically, NSA was behind this whole cryptocurrency. Everybody's attached to the NSA, guys. And when I did the part 1 of who created Bitcoin, I ran into so much that I had to stop. So basically, I'm not going to launch those until Thanksgiving and Christmas, because it will blow your mind. It will blow your mind. But the fact is that basically, as we can see, MIT also part of their recruits. We know the NWO recruits the greatest minds, and of course, they're at MIT. Now, basically, we have yield farmers making 500% returns, but don't understand a smart contract, guys. Who cares? As long as you're making money for right now. Of course, you can learn along the way. Now, NFTs, guys, non-fungible digital tokens attract Morgan Creek execs. I put that into my Patreon. I've been put that in there for y'all. Guys, you have to go do your research, but art goes parabolic. That's the next big wave, guys, but you have to do your research. It's like when DeFi came. You have to do your research, study, and then jump on the train. Of course, you got to take some risks sometimes. Now, lastly, guys, we have the BBC leaks documents that the banks could have laundered $2 trillion. Guys, we don't care. We know it's not $2 trillion. We have BBC saying leak. Anytime I heard leak, that means that somebody gave it to them. Guys, we know for a fact the banks, biggest drug running, gun running, money laundering guys on the universe. So it's not $2 trillion. They mean about 200 quadrillion dollars that they've laundered. But guys, that's all I have for you guys. Don't forget about the books, Crypto Teacher, NWO book. Also, if you're new to cryptos, Coinbase, BitChute, Binance. Also, the stock channel, guys. Don't forget to check out Crypto Teacher stocks. Basically, you have your Cobalt, your chip stocks, your gaming, your banking. Everybody's sitting at home. Don't forget about those stocks. Basically, the C word. Don't forget about the biotech stocks. It's still pumping and dumping. And then also, while everybody's sitting at home getting free money or waiting on that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and y'all have a wonderful day.